guys, my name is Tyra Hughes and welcome to my YouTube channel, Her Expressive Mind. So today I wanted to speak about how this quarantine is affecting junior year. I actually planned on doing this way before quarantine started, but obviously now it's a totally different experience, so I think that makes it even more impactful. I've been doing this video diaries since the beginning of junior year just to kind of like map out and track where I'm at different points of the school year, and I feel like it's a very new experience now as we are all juniors, because it's like we have to do all this senior year, college application prep, SAT prep, AP testing prep, all of that like at home in quarantine. So it's a very different experience, so I thought it would be cool to kind of document that. Junior year is one of the most important years of high school. I entered it, like much of class of 2021, with my own expectations and intentions for the year. I think one of my biggest goals this year, I want to manage my time wisely. I have a lot of responsibilities this year. I have to start studying for the SAT, I have work, I have track, I have the newspaper, and so I really want to make sure that I know how to balance all of those activities. I want to practice mindfulness this year, and lastly, I want to just start jumping out of my comfort zone. Because if I stay in my comfort zone, then I'm not going to be able to really flourish and change as a person. I'll be just the same person with the same limitations that I put on myself. But this COVID-19 pandemic changed everything. Each month, I documented my junior year progress, and all of the things I anticipated were all beginning in March. Currently, it is November 5th. It is November 26th. It is Thursday, December 12th. So in March, before school shut down, I still had time to work toward my junior year goals, so I decided to do pole vault. It was something out of my comfort zone, and I knew it would be a challenge for myself since I spent the majority of my high school years doing just mid-distance. I wanted to try something new and make sure I was sticking to my junior year goals, but obviously COVID-19 canceled the track season. Before quarantine started, I had just started pole vaulting, and we were literally 1 week into practice before school was closed completely and we were moved to online schools. So in March, in that 1 week of bliss, of track practice, my birthday celebration, SAT practice, I was able to celebrate my 17th birthday with ease. It was a lot of fun, but right after that weekend is when COVID-19 really started to affect school and New Jersey. Schools were shut down, my SAT was canceled, my track season was canceled, and all of these things that I was looking forward to in the beginning of my junior year suddenly were no longer at my fingertips. And actually, before quarantine officially started, my teammates and I, for pole vault, we actually had like an unofficial practice at a local park, but that was the last time that we actually did anything as a team. Since school is canceled, sports can't really practice officially, so what we have to do is just do it on our own, and so that's what my group for pole vaulting is doing. Practice yesterday was canceled. My group basically planned to go to LA Fitness, but we couldn't because our parents all said no. So it has been an adjustment in that matters, being that I can't really do track in school, and now I kind of have to rely on my own self-discipline to work out, which has not been very consistent, but I've been trying. Okay, it's a little bit disappointing because I really do look forward to the outdoor season of track, because that's I definitely prefer it to indoor track. If I would have known that my spring outdoor season would be canceled and all of the meets would be canceled, I definitely would have done indoor track, but I thought that I would have another season to fall back on. And I decided that I'm not going to do indoor track this year. I want to focus on documentary style kind of stuff and just interviewing people and creating, and I'm definitely going to return again for the outdoor season. I started out the season hoping to try something new. I wanted to try pole vault for the first time, and for the week that I did, it was a lot of fun. I was trying to, adjust to this new sport, new aspect of track and field. So when the news finally broke that our school would be shut down, I did not expect it to last this long.
I've received the full support of the board to move our spring break to next week. This will enable us to close our schools, to quarantine our schools for 11 days. It will give my cabinet, central office administration, an additional 11 days to make sure that when we roll this plan out, if in fact we still need to after this, that it's done well.
We were only supposed to be out of school for 2 weeks, and now a lot of these things that we were looking forward to in the beginning of the school year are now down the drain. I was supposed to take my SAT on March 14th, which is basically a week after my 17th birthday. That was my whole plan. The March SAT was canceled. And so then I registered for the June SAT, hoping that, you know, things would maybe be over by May. Obviously, with the nature of COVID-19, we really don't know when this is going to end. So College Board took very serious measures. They canceled the June SAT, they canceled the March SAT. So at this point, I don't know when I'm taking the SAT for the first time. At this point, it's not looking like I'm taking the SAT until like August or September or October. And that's why I think it's really good that a lot of colleges have started to send out emails. I know I've been getting some emails from colleges saying that it's optional to have an SAT for their school. So I think that's pretty cool, because I see now that colleges are becoming a little bit more considerate of how quarantine is affecting many of the normal requirements for the college process. So really the only advice I could give to people like me who have not taken the SAT yet is to just keep practicing. That's what I've been doing. The fact that most SATs were canceled is actually kind of a benefit, because now we have more time to practice if we still want to take the SAT. I'm still going to take it if it's still going to be administered, because who knows when we're going back to school and when things are going to open back up. There's nothing else I can really do but just try to get better and increase my score for when I take the actual test. Now, spring break for juniors is typically for college visits and researching what schools they want to look into, but this year, since spring break was not really a spring break, my spring break was when I was going to hopefully schedule some college visits. But obviously, spring break was canceled because we were already in the house anyway. So our spring break for my school district, at least, was basically the week after all of this coronavirus started to affect school. So they took that week as a district to kind of prepare for online school.
As I've said, what are we doing next week? We're going on vacation. We're going to have an opportunity to breathe. We're going to have an opportunity to focus on ourselves, to focus on our families.
We couldn't really visit any colleges because they were closed and they kicked out their own students to go back home. So this whole college process in terms of researching has been different. I've been relying on YouTube and the College Board website to do my research. It is Saturday, April 18th. Today on my agenda, basically I watched some videos on like journalism students and like in college and like what their experience is like. Really cool. So far I've been taking notes on just like what I'm generally looking for in a college experience, and then I also just wrote down some notes on Howard, because basically they are in Washington DC, and Washington DC is a really good city for journalism students, especially because it's super close to CNN and like Washington Post, a lot of like really great publications that could also be connected to really good internships. So that's what I took note on. I'm just making use of the resources that I have at home. Obviously, we don't really have that advantage of like looking and seeing for ourselves what these colleges are like, but there are virtual tours. There's a lot of resources that we do have access to on the internet, which is good, but it's definitely not the same thing as what other classes may have had in the past. So the day that we left school, my AP teacher told us who knows when we might see each other again. I definitely underestimated how likely that statement could be, but here I am now taking online classes at the end point of my junior year. I was able to take my AP test with ease. I studied with ease at home. It was different, but I think we had a bit of an advantage, being that instead of doing 3 essays in amount of like 3 hours, this year we only had 1 essay for 45 minutes. So I've been eating, sleeping, and breathing rhetorical analysis essay for the past month so that I could do good on the test, and I think I did great. My exam is tomorrow, so basically over these past couple of weeks I've been preparing by watching YouTube videos from like AP teachers online just to pick up on like a few tips or things I might forget on the actual test due to like nervousness. But from those videos I've been able to create a really helpful outline. I've made some outlines, so since we are able to use notes on test day, I wanted to take advantage of that because why not? It could help me get a better score. I made a chart like this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this on my wall in front of my desk so that it's up there for me to reference to when I'm writing. And then this I'll have on my actual desk so that I can take note of the text as I read it. But yeah, it was a bit of an adjustment trying to just prepare for this test online. So obviously AP testing is one of the things that was affected by this pandemic. I'm glad that that test is over because it was quite stressful preparing for it on my own. So even though my academic goals in terms of testing and college process, that has been changed. I do still have a lot of time to work on my personal goals. I still have a lot of time on my hands that I would not have had if schools were open, if I did not have this quarantine. I just been taking the good and the bad with this situation. Even though my track season was canceled, that was my way of trying to jump out of my comfort zone, do pole vault. I still kind of took matters into my own hands. I wanted to do something outside of my comfort zone, try something new. So that's why I ran for student council secretary. 3 weeks ago, I decided that I was going to be running for student council secretary. So I decided to run for secretary because I wanted to use my organization and communication skills. I think I'm pretty good at doing those things. So I wanted to elevate those skills and use it for the better of my school. The experience of campaigning through online, through like virtually versus in real life at school, at lunch tables, you know, in classes, totally different experience. I remember last year when people were running, they would just walk around with a big paper and ask for signatures, but it is much different online because first of all, when it's online, you literally have to individually reach out to 50 students. How I've been doing my campaign, basically in order to campaign, you have to have good visuals, good videos. I did a 73 questions video because I thought it would be really fun to watch. So that's what I decided to do for my campaign video so that people learn more about me as a person, what I contribute to the table. So when I was looking to see like what makes a good campaign video, I saw that sometimes it just meant that it was funny or relatable. So I used like really good music for the video that I edited. So I wanted it to just show my personality, who I am as a person, to hopefully win over the support of the student body. When I was, ready to send out all the campaign visuals and, the student council posted pictures of who's, running for what, I realized that, it came to my attention that I'm the only one running for secretary. So it was kind of a win-win situation here. But this is still a really fun experience because I tried something new. So even though I don't have any competitors, I do kind of think this is still a really good experience for me personally because it can help me become a better leader in my school. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm glad that I took up this opportunity. So finding a silver lining in all of this. Although this junior year experience is definitely unique, it's different than what other juniors have experienced in the past, I think it's definitely not as worse as the seniors. Their senior year experience has been cut short, so although it kind of sucks that we might not be taking the SAT as soon as we had hoped, or our AP testing maybe had technical difficulties, or our sports seasons are canceled, it could be worse. I think we do have an advantage being that we did have online AP tests. The tests were shorter, we could get notes on the test. In terms of SAT testing, we have more time to prepare it whenever we do open back up. I am excited to take on this role alongside, might I mention, an all-girl student council board. That's amazing. So I'm just very excited to take on this new role as student council secretary. I'm excited to be the co-editor-in-chief of the newspaper again next year, and I'm just really excited for senior year. I think even though this junior year has been very different, it took many turns that I did not expect. I think this has been a really good year. and I'm excited for the rest of my high school experience.